Hello there. Have you ever found yourself asking, is there more to life than just the daily grind, the constant worries, the invisible pressures that weigh us down? Sometimes we feel lost amidst the currents of life, as if searching for something profound, yet unsure of what it is or where to find it. Suffering, in whatever form, from loss, illness, old age, to mental exhaustion, seems an inevitable part of the human condition. We all yearn for peace and happiness, but the path to them often feels incredibly vague. Today, we will unveil the mystery of a great figure in human history, someone who sought and found answers to these very questions, and discovered a path to freedom from suffering. That is, the Buddha. He was not a deity, but a human being of flesh and blood who experienced the same struggles and anxieties that we do. Join me on a journey to explore his life and the path he illuminated, a path that could bring serenity to your own life.
1. Prince Siddhartha. Behind the walls of luxury, suffering still emerges. The story of the Buddha begins with a young prince named Siddhartha. He was born into luxury, surrounded by every comfort a royal could ever dream of. His father, the king, tried to shield him from all of life's suffering, building high walls to separate him from the outside world. Day after day, he lived in beautiful gardens, attended by devoted servants, enchanted by captivating dances, completely unaware of death, sickness, or old age. But sometimes, no matter how high the physical walls, they cannot imprison a soul yearning for the truth. Despite living in a golden palace, Siddhartha still felt an emptiness, a persistent question about the true meaning of life. Surely there are times in our own busy lives, even with material abundance, when we feel a void, a true inner peace that seems to elude us. Then one day, Siddhartha decided to venture beyond the palace walls. For the first time, he confronted the harsh realities of life. An old man, a sick person, a corpse, and a serene ascetic. These sights deeply moved him, making him realize that no matter how wealthy or powerful one might be, no one could escape birth, old age, sickness, and death. It was in that very moment that he felt the suffering of humanity touch his heart, a suffering that perhaps each of us has felt when faced with life's impermanence. With a heart full of compassion and a fervent desire to find a way to end all suffering for himself and for all beings, he made a monumental decision to renounce his throne, his wife, his son, and his royal life to become an ascetic, seeking ultimate truth.
2. The quest for truth, from austerity to enlightenment. Siddhartha's journey to find truth was far from easy. He sought out renowned spiritual teachers, learned various philosophies, and practiced extreme asceticism, almost destroying his body. He ate very little, endured sun, rain, and cold, hoping that by tormenting his body, his soul would be liberated. But then, after years of hardship, he realized that this path of extreme asceticism did not lead him to enlightenment. It only exhausted him further without addressing the root of suffering. Perhaps in our own lives, how many times have we tried to suffer in our own ways, throwing ourselves into work, into endless preoccupations, hoping to find peace, only to realize we are just more tired? Abandoning the extreme path, he found a new way, the middle path, neither indulging the self excessively nor overly punishing the body. He sat under the Bodhi tree, resolute in his determination not to rise until he had found the truth. In that night, after hours of deep meditation, he overcame all temptations and mental obstacles. Dawn broke, and with its light, he attained supreme enlightenment, fully understanding the nature of suffering and the path to end it. He became the Buddha, the awakened one.
3. The path to freedom from suffering, the Four Noble Truths, the solution to all pain. So what was the path to freedom from suffering that the Buddha discovered? It is the Four Noble Truths, the core of all his teachings. These are not dry doctrines, but profound truths about life that we ourselves can feel. Dukkha, suffering, the truth of suffering. The Buddha pointed out that life is suffering. From birth, old age, sickness, death, to separation from loved ones, association with disliked ones, or not getting what one desires, all are suffering. Do you see? Sometimes we try to avoid or deny these pains, but they still exist. The Buddha did not say that life is only suffering, but rather he clearly identified suffering as a reality we need to recognize to overcome it. Samudaya, origin of suffering. The truth of the origin of suffering. He taught that the cause of all suffering lies not externally, but within our own minds, stemming from craving, attachment to impermanent things, aversion, anger, hatred, and ignorance, lack of understanding of the true nature of phenomena. Think about it. Isn't it true that when we crave something too much or get too angry when things don't go our way, we suffer even more? Nirodha, cessation of suffering. The truth of the cessation of suffering. This is good news. The Buddha affirmed that suffering can be completely ended. When we eradicate craving, aversion, and ignorance, the root causes of suffering, we will attain a state of ultimate serenity, which is nirvana. Magga, path to the cessation of suffering. The truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering. Finally, the Buddha laid out the specific practical path to achieve the cessation of suffering, which is the Noble Eightfold Path, 8 right ways. This includes right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. These 8 paths help us to regulate our body, speech, and mind to live an awakened life, staying away from the suffering we create ourselves.
Now, the path to freedom is for everyone. The story of the Buddha and the path he walked is not just an ancient myth, but a living example, an endless source of inspiration for each of us. He demonstrated that no matter who you are or where you come from, you have the ability to recognize suffering, find its cause, and put an end to it. Buddhism is not a distant religion, but a practical path for each person to find true peace and happiness right in this life. The core message the Buddha wanted to convey is, all suffering has a cause, and all suffering can be ended. That path begins with knowing oneself, understanding one's mind, and practicing mindfulness every day. So, what resonated most with you in the story of the Buddha? Do you feel any empathy with his journey of seeking? Please share your thoughts and feelings in the comments below. I would love to hear your story. If you found this video helpful and want to continue exploring Buddhism in depth, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos in this Introduction to Buddhism series. Thank you for joining me on this journey to discover peace and wisdom. See you in the next video.